afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacaster. I'm your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda Hero of Psych, Defender of the Fatherland. Off here to an exciting 1 vs 1 on Simoski winter between the South. We got here Strategic Mushroom fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Reich taking on the role here of the 9th Panzerdivision versus the North. We got Dave himself fighting for America, freedom and democracy. Here taking on the role of the 1st Armored Division. We got elite troops in Osttruppen and Lightning War with Panzerfaust, Stug and Infantry versus Airborne, tactical support and armor with double infantry and grenade range bulletins there for Dave, with double rifle on the way there, MD42 grenades on the way there. Showing points in the south, MD42 setting out as well. Setting out aggressively to secure the fuel point in the south. Generally, as the Wehrmacht on Simoski winter always aim for the northern fuel point, simply because this hard rising age makes it a real bastard to have to deal with the opponent right at first. In which case, this one is a lot safer. So, small thoughts there. Anyways, a bit of pleasant chatting between Strategic Mushroom and Dave in before moving up. So in this case, it works out for Strategic Mushroom. Got this one in there, so he's pretty much just focusing everything on here. And if he can't get to the house first, of course, it's somewhat defensible. Somewhat, of course, the mortar's going to make things a bit trickier. Plus, the sort of terrain around here can also make it easier to rush out the house. And there we go. We got armor for Dave. Interesting. And we got assault units up for Dave as well. I mean, on a map like this with a flamethrowers, they can be quite handy in clearing out houses. And certainly houses is one of Simoski winter's and Simoski's greater features. So we'll see how it works out here for Strategic Mushroom and for Dave. More grenadiers there arriving for the German army. Other squad being sent westwards. Point they're secured, so he's more trying to apply pressure with the pioneers, leaving the grenadiers secure at the fuel point. Bit delayed grabbing there, though. In the meanwhile, Dave has secured the centre and a bit of the other map here. Assault units moving out here for Dave. There you go, Rifle versus Grenadiers. Grenadiers forced to fall back. Got another squad here, so the Grenadiers will be quickly overwhelmed. Strategic Mushroom there will just benefit from retreating right away. Pioneers setting up here in the house, spotting out some targets. Assault units spotted, of course, that tells Strategic Mushroom immediately that Dave has gone for armour. But also, 15 machine gun to hit aggressively here, which leaves his fuel point in theory a bit more and guard from the attacks from the village, like through here, which is about to happen. In theory, it can shoot across the fences. That's going to be, I think, a bit tricky. We'll see there. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to tell with elevation and the likes that if you can actually shoot there. Plus the house itself here also presents a bit of a weak spot. Right here, he pops into the house and throws into the Grenadiers and the MD42 up close. That's going to be a bad development there for the Rifle Squad. They've got these soldiers moving in and not enough ammunition for a flamethrower. But of course, he might be banking. He can bluff Strategic Mushroom into thinking he's got one. We should have to see whether he takes the bait or he calls Dave's bluff here. The machine gun is taking a lot of damage here up close. There goes soldiers and suppressed pioneers in as well. Rifle moving up, full gun is sneaking in. There we go, full retreat here for Dave's forces. A pretty close engagement there for Strategic Mushroom that could have gone a bit awry there. In this case, pulled off successfully, repulsing a lot of Dave's forces. They've got the mortar moving up. He's going to bombard the MD42 inside of the house. MD42 is going to have to be positioned soon, otherwise that's going to get wiped out and annihilated. Pioneers as a rifleman there. Troops reinforcing. Ambulance on the way there for Dave to heal and reinforce his troops. Going to listen and then getting the rifleman here. Back at base we got take up there for Strategic Mushroom with a mortar on the way of his own to probably counter Dave's mortar. Of course, provide him some men with artillery support here against the American foe. More Grenadiers marching into the village centre here. And there go Pioneers taking losses from the American mortar. Will be forced to retreat here. And rifling at the same time. Oh, good lord! Bombarded. He actually caught the Pioneers on the retreat, wiping them out entirely. That is some nasty luck there. Costing Strategic Mushroom his Pioneers. That would be another 200 manpower. He's going to have to replace them. And he can't. He has to, absolutely, because otherwise he can't get anything out of his tech. So that is a critical blow here to the Wehrmacht in the early game from Dave. It's going to slow down any attack for that matter. Got the assault units in return, and that's going to help sort of offset it. Bit more expensive, plus it cost got the unit there. In this case, it's a bit too long out in the open. I think they can use a target. So that sort of worked out there. Also, I think good bit luck with rifle grenade. Either way, though, bit of tit for tat. There we go. Take up 4 strategic mushroom. MB42 going out there. Mortar running as well here, securing the center of the village. Enforcing healing. And Dave just pointing out that one wasn't random. Right, he just catching a unit on retreat with the mortar, wiping them entirely. Quite brutal. Replacement pioneers almost done there for strategic mushroom and the 9th panzer to be shown. Troops reinforcing healing. Dave is yet to go for a tech there. We shall see what he aims up for, lieutenant or captain. And we got the light mechanized company going up here for this German army. Strategic mushroom though has yet to make a strategic decision and actually choose a doctrine here versus Dave. Gonna need some need to cover that house that is about to collapse. A few good mortar hits, maybe one there could, you know, cause the entire thing to fall apart. There we go. He just falls back, realizing that place is not going to last much. So I'm going to need to reposition the mortar and forcing up in the church center. Like to make a nice complete done. Going to need low on health. Could use the field first aid kit to quickly heal themselves up. And then just sort of push it rather than... He could also just go build out a medic bank, but that's going to delay them and sort of keep them back for some time. So the field first aid kit is probably the overall more expedient measure. We'll see though what he ends up with. Also, he could consider using incendiary armor pistol to just increasing his damage with some more of Dave's troops, making it hard for them to stay about, even in heavy combat against the MD42. We got the mortar back in range here. If you can hone in on it quickly, you can sort of deal with it before it takes out the mortar. And there you go, he spotted it, dealing with it. There we got veterans on 5 kills already his. Down to 2 kills here. Also, incendiary armor pistol is a great versus units inside buildings. Ooh, mortar's fallen too far there. MD4 soon be forced to position. Pioneer sending about here. Is he mine the point, or is there something else going on there for strategic mushroom? He does end up going for the medic bank. Here we got elite troops here for him. Medics up, so he's going to heal his troops. But that does mean he's got 3 squads now sitting about in his base, not really teaming anything, which is a bit more risky. In particular, there's a more aggressive player like Dave. That cam in his front line is going to be quite exposed, and of course, his support weapons are in fact very vulnerable. In particular, the MD4 needs to fall back, but also means the mortar's in the back spot. There you go, gets out in the nick of time. A good job there by repositioning his mortar, avoiding their strategic mushrooms mortar. Grenadiers there, more or less good to go. He's got 1 squad moving, 2nd one moving, 3rd squad there closing in as well. Of course, now he's shifting towards the center. That means his fuel point in the east is an easy target. Dave seizes upon that and strikes like a dagger. And we do see the captain, also the lieutenant out for Dave, so he's quickly hitting both of the earlier tiers. Which probably means he's going to try and align the call-ins, which is certainly rare to see from Dave since he prefers, you know, taking up and all that. But I'm guessing Dave here just wants to try something new. We've got Stormtroopers out here to help defend the fuel point. Bit belated, but should still have an impact there versus Dave. Particularly equipped on the assault rifles for down the road fighting. Going to use engaging into the lieutenant. Right, just in here holding up there. Going to use me up with a G43. Which was based on the Soviet SVT-40 semi-automatic rifle, since the previous attempt with the semi-automatic rifle, the G41, did not work out too well. It was overly complex and rather impractical. As a fun fact, it was apparently based on a Danish system, the Bang system. And yes, Bang is a Danish name. Surname, that is. If I remember correctly, that's the Bang system bit there, not the name. I know it's a name in Denmark. Well, Bang, as it would be pronounced in Danish. Grabbing the point there. Captain engaging the Grenadiers, of course, equipped with the BAR. Rather nasty stuff there. Got the cutoff point here. Can press towards the fuel point. Captain moving towards him. Mortar needs to position before that's getting torn apart. Machine gun there should be moving forwards there as before him. Stormtroopers creeping up there. Looks like he might be setting up there for the assault rifles. Or just setting up for a bun grenade. They're the geballte Ladnung. Need to get that Grenadier squad by the coffer, and there you go, bun grenade. Doesn't do too much, the Stormtroopers end up in the next cover alongside a lot of BARs, and of course the right response is just to hit the retreat button. Mortar firing away there, 4 kills, veterans to 1, 6 kills, almost 22 there on the American mortar. And there you go, hitting the fuel point there, good work by Strategic Mushroom. Punching Dave now for putting all of the presence towards these. We can see he's shifting towards force there to deter Strategic Mushroom for harassing his cutoff or fuel point there. But still, that's, in this case, 2 units he's drawing away to just deal with 1 unit. So that's actually working out pretty well for Strategic Mushroom. He needs to abandon the church. Now that thing's about to fall apart. I would recommend him using up the house here, actually. Has pretty much a good coverage as well. And also is not about to collapse. Back here, healing reinforcement, taking going up there for strategic mushroom. Captain pushing back the Grenadiers here, back at Dave's base, we got nothing further going on. And over here, Grenadiers on a pretty bad spot there. Need to retreat. Still, that is denying Dave precious fuel, which is good. But he really needs to get the machine gun elsewhere. Almost done with the tech. Need to get his stormtroopers and Grenadiers simmering again. This is a death trap, and there goes strategic mushroom, finally moves it. Right before the entire thing almost collapses. I mean, again, one more hit or two, and that thing is gone. There we go. So he nicked and got out of there just in the nick of time. Storm swing in there. Dave striking by the first at the cuff point there. Very good decision. Basically cuts off the fuel faster, then he can always secure it later without having to worry his opponent getting fuel in the meanwhile. So that is a very tactically sound decision there by Dave. Also forces his opponent to move further away from the front line just to deal with that if he wants to deal with it. So really this achieves a lot of things there for Dave. That is a really tactically astute move. You got the Sepulchre up here. Up here those stormtroopers pushing them back, and it is being sent down there to grab the cuff point again. Morton needs to reposition as the centre is now being completely devoid of any German presence. But he can soon push out some armour there. He'll probably go for an Austrian or Stug first, in particular with Dave not taking up here, trying to rely on his Collins. That's going to be a pretty good choice there for strategic mushroom. Could in fact force Dave to have to tech, or at least consider something else. Right now, Dave is securing the centre of the map here. We got on me from the camp. Concussive grenade off, uses on me to dodge that one quite beautifully. We got a second Stormtrooper squad home pin right next to the captain, supporting MD-42 and the Storm Pioneers coming up as well. So using his Stormtroopers aggressively here, strategic mushroom the 9th Panzer Division, no finds his mortar though in a bad spot and wiped out. Might have been an auto setup because he didn't move it up fast enough. Either way though, quite costly. In this case, it's lucky Dave does not steal it away from him. Trip sealing reinforcing. And he can soon go for the Austrian, but of course he could also just be setting up for the Panzer IV, which is also a pretty solid choice. Rather than sneaking up behind the MD-42, the problem is they're out in the open and they're versus the Stormtroopers there. They can find more or less the entire site. They're 4 Stormtroopers, which is a lot of damage. Stat-wise, unupgraded Stormtroopers are pretty much Grenadiers, but with much higher durability. In fact, they have a better received accuracy bonus than Panzer Grenadiers. So that's a little fun fact there. But the rifles are pretty much the same as the Grenadiers Kar-98Ks. Troops in and reinforcing. 300 victory points left. Dave's got a 500 victory point lead there. Tech up actually, so he's... Certainly gets a bit weird here. I'm guessing he wanted to go for the assault. He just didn't quite pan out. Could also go for some later. And I suppose in theory the armor doctrine there of course gives him more option. Like if he quickly needs a tank, so he can call on the M10, or if he needs to sort of deal with a Dark Ink German position, call in the 105mm Sherman. So, but it's generally not the most common player from American player to go for all of these while being armored company. And that is incredibly rare. So it indicates here David's certainly not just going to play with Collins, which generally tends not to be his style here. Cap moving up with the Stormtroopers. He's still not able to upgrade a single Stormtrooper squad, but with assault rifles with the Sturmgewehr. 44. Few hits here and there. He could probably consider machine gun bunker in the center to make it a bit easier to defend and also make it harder for Dave to just push right into it, but also force him to get a counter to the machine gun bunker, which could be an idea there for strategic mushroom to consider. In the west, Grenadiers advancing to current territory. We've got a fighting position up to defend the fuel point, making it harder for strategic mushroom and the Germans to harass it. Really good work there. Panzer IV on the way for strategic mushroom. He could have gone for the Austrian here, would have been a bit faster. And there we go. We got grenades up for Dave, laying down smoke screens, making it harder here for him to defend. Grenades off on the other side there. Very nicely executed assault grenade through the smoke screen, hitting machine gun. Mortars pushed back. Complete right here using a few smoke screens and some grenades. And a nicely executed assault there. Could even see a white on the MG-42. And oh dear, this is a huge blow to strategic mushroom. Huge blow there. Nice attack there by Dave, completely crumbling the centre of the 9th Panzer Division's positions in the village, securing it in a swift and brutal blow. That the Panzer IV here should serve as a counterpoint, giving Dave some trouble in holding it since he does not have any anti-tank weapons, no assault defensive weapons at all, no bazookas, no mines, no nothing. He's actually floating out a manpower there, could consider some fuel caches. would not be a bad idea at all, to be honest. But otherwise, still nice to the assault. And there we go, though. Got the Panzer IV here for Strategic Mushroom and the 9th Panzer Division, Deutschland. Well, the division also named Deutschland. It probably had a name, I don't quite know of it. Just beyond the outer. Oh, actually not. And Otto there gets shot. Don't fly, we're beyond it. Ugh, my spleen. I think I needed it. Pin my machine on the Panzer IV for a bit of added anti-infantry. Flanking up behind the MD-42 that pilfered away from him. Mortar infantry moving up towards the centre. And there you go, catching Dave off guard. Dave here, clearly I think underestimating Strategic Mushroom's ability to push out a tank here and leaving himself completely open to armour, which is definitely a good opportunity for Strategic Mushroom to do a lot of damage. There he goes, going to try and wipe out the machine gun, get it back for Germany. Good work there, good work. A tank down here, Rifle needs to be dealt with as well. And there you go, out in the open, right in front of the Panzer IV. Misses spectacularly, though he should rush up, infantry secure there. Up here, needs to be pushed back, gonna get wiped there. Bit too slow to retreat. Yeah, just at the very edge of the perimeter, he got wiped. Cheeky. Stuck following up with Strategic Mushroom. He's clearly worried about Dave pushing out armor against him. And that's this being up Stuck, though. I mean, Strategic Mushroom's actually able to hold the fuel advantage. You can also see now Kit Davis gone for fuel cache to help offset things. In fact, he is actually planning a second one. Interesting. So, I mean, that's definitely what all that manpower floating was for. So, I mean, that's something there. Though he could have benefited easily from having that sooner. So, Stuck halfway down there for Strategic Mushroom, basically gaining an arm advantage and pushing it ahead, which is definitely a good thing if you can do that as a development, though it is pretty tricky. But in this case, it benefited quite a bit there from Dave himself not being able to push the armor fast enough. But still, with 2 fuel caches, though, he's going to have a very good chance to catch up to Strategic Mushroom and actually get ahead of him in fuel. So this is actually a bit dangerous long term for Strategic Mushroom. Quite dangerous. He's also something about the victory point here, and he would benefit from machine gun bunkers. But we can see here Davis now shifting his entire axis of attack here from here towards the west. He's probably going to try and push in for the village here, where he can use a much larger force more efficiently in attacking into the village. So that's pretty good. Right here, though, I am slightly disappointed in Strategic Mushroom for equipping his storms with the G43s. It is cheaper, obviously, but the assault rifles I do feel perform overall better and overall gives more room for some good murders here and there. But I mean, if you absolutely just need them upgraded, G43s will work. But I would prefer to see at least one assault rifle squad there. I mean, that's just, you know, the best usage of them, particularly with a well-executed tactical advance. You really do some serious damage. And fun fact, it is probably one of Dave's favourite abilities when it comes to the paratroops. He loves tactical assault on them, so you know, they'll find out there. But there you go, lost assault trooper squad there with the G43s and the other one there. Dave pushing in there again. You can see sort of making use of the fact it's a lot harder to just get, you know, pinned down in a corner than it, like in the eastern side of it. It's going to swing in and catching the lieutenant, and then we got on me to boost the lieutenant as well. There we go. He's being absolutely murdered. Rifle shifting in as well there. Grenade off, forcing Dave to slightly pull back some troops. No armor yet here for Dave. Captain, though, could possibly even be seen retreat as soon as he actually rush out some armor. There goes Sherman on the way. Stuck bombarding Panzer IV, moving in despite having a damaged engine. Dave, though, it's not quite following up there. I think sufficient on the assault. We'll probably need to retreat. There we go. Smoke stream down to cover it up, blocking the Panzer IV from shooting. Good work there by Dave. Anti-tank moving in. Mortar moving up. So the assault didn't quite work out. In some parts, one could argue some of the elements weren't quite fast enough to follow up with the rest, giving Strategic Mushroom more time to sort of deal with the vanguard more easily, because the rest of the force was a bit too slow. Oh dear, concussive grenade there. Oh, rifle grenade actually on the more anti-tank gun. Oh dear, that was Stereo, I think, getting a bit too confident. And right here, Strategic Mushroom is able to defeat him, punish him there for it. Nasty work. He could steal the anti-tank gun, turn it against Dave. And Dave here cancels the Jackson. He will probably just brush it out with the captain anyway. So we could see a Strategic Mushroom destroys the anti-tank gun, deciding not to want it. Back at base, healing reinforcement going on there for Strategic Mushroom. Getting ready for the next big fight for the German army. Ralph squad being sent in on its own. Needs to be careful he doesn't defeat his troops piecemeal into the meat grinder here, because currently Strategic Mushroom in such a situation he could probably punish Dave quite nicely for that. More to the landing, a good hit. Destiny 2 once more. Jackson arriving, there we go, using Supervise. Also an ability Dave is quite fond of. I'm caught here by the Indy 42, having slightly shifted back here to a small house. Smallish, larger. Jackson arriving there though. Panzer Grenadier for shooting mushroom plus another MG42, digging in to an extent but also keeping some offensive elements. Dave here striking in east, very good work there. And there you go, direct hit on the Panzer IV from the Jackson with its 90mm gun. Modifying the machine gun there could be a bit of a problem. Grenadiers, Panzer Stormtrooper in here. Panzer Grenadier ready here for shooting mushroom, and the 9th Panzer is shown right, and they need to retreat soon. And there he goes, Stu going for the Jackson on the ice, shoots, misses, hits the dirt. Jackson though returns the favour by alternating the dirt. There he goes, Stu lands hit, but for now there's all opportunity lost to sink that thing into the ice like the Titanic. Cut and push back there, troops reinforcing healing. 50 cal on the way there for Dave. And the 1st Armoured Division. Panzer IV, they're rolling in, close to Veterans 1. Lieutenants are pressed, and the Panzer IV strikes. Dave here needs to be a bit careful, needs to retreat soon actually. Unless he's planning to ambush it with the Jackson. Which looks like it's what he's doing there. Bit risky, but could work out I suppose. Shoots, misses spectacularly. Dave's not going to try and tag into here. Though without the house here, it's going to be easy that there's still the house here, which could definitely be a problem. As it can cover this area still quite nicely. And there you go, Stormtrooper's caught in the middle of the bloody road. And we can see StrategicMushroom now to begin to open up more front here on the western side. That's going to force Dave to consider defending all of his fuel here, or trying to break through StrategicMushroom where he's strongest. And I'm definitely not recommending attacking into a strongest. It looks like Dave might be aiming for such a crushing blow. 50 cal opening up the Mardus, got another Panzer over for StrategicMushroom. Another Panzer come for having 3 under the current circumstances, a very good choice. More firepower, more mobility. Pretty good stuff, and of course at a pretty reasonable price point. On the west side, the machine gun hanging back. Lieutenant and the Grenadiers. Panzer IV stooping up, the machine guns are pressed. Getting off a few hits there. Jackson ups in the Panzer IV, gets a good penetrating hit there. Mortifying the Americans here. Panzer IV halfway done. 50 cal push back. Panzer IV then in a pretty neat, weak state. Another hit there from the Jackson, closing in the Veterans U1. Dave putting the Jackson here to maximum usage. Grenadier squad wiped. Another loss here for the German army. Panzer Grenadier are working in the west. He needs some armor to clear that out, or an anti-tank gun or his mortar. There you go, another house collapse here as the village perimeter is slowly being whittled down by Dave's superior firepower. Stuke firing back the Jackson. Jackson needs to be careful. Bazooka fire out there, hurting the Stuke, forcing it to be pulled back, in particular because there's no infantry support to deal with it. Smoke screen laid down as StrategicMushroom conducts a tactical withdrawal from the eastern outskirts of the village, giving it up to Dave and the 1st Armoured Division for now. Got the 2nd Panther moving up. They'll have to act as a strong point in the centre. He needs to get infantry in, and he also needs more infantry. He's also got a ton of munitions and could easily benefit from bunkers. Also, stormtroopers with assault rifles, obviously. That would also be quite good here for StrategicMushroom. Mortar wiped here by Dave's riflemen. Grabbing the eastern victory point, they're pushing it in again. Jackson Veterans 1 opening up here for the very powerful HVAC rounds, though 40 for StrategicMushroom, though Dave is short on munitions, so he can't pop those for increased damage on his Jackson alongside increased penetration. And knowing Dave, he's probably one of the few players who'd actually use it. So many players neglect just the power of HVAC rounds. It is nuts in the right circumstances. Troops are healing, reinforcing. He's going for double Jackson, though. He really wants to hurt StrategicMushroom's infantry. 50 cal, they're covering the centre. Jackson hanging back there. Need to retreat that 50 cal. We got the mortar there opening up. Closing in on Veteran 3. Slight retreat there. 50 cal position here is actually doing its job pretty well, preventing his opponent from going forward. And he's clearly too focused on the centre to actually want to send even a single tank or even the Stu to clear out the fighting position. 2nd Jackson done, plus another 50 caliber here for Dave. But he certainly seems to be slowly getting more focused on this rather than trying to attack through here. And that's making it easier for StrategicMushroom to bottle up Dave. So that's certainly something that Dave needs to keep in mind. He is attacking from, I would say, the less advantageous position here in Samoski and Samoski Winter. There you go, 2nd M36 Jackson out. Running about there with its 90mm gun. It was based on the Sherman chassis as a fun fact. Panther 4 Stuki on the west, Jackson running in there. Still short on munitions, but now he goes hitting the eastern fuel point there. And he's about to harass right here, but the problem is going to find the fuel cache in the way, so he can't even cut them off. Lastly, the fuel cache here serves numerous purposes. Besides providing more fuel, it also provides as an anchor point for the fuel point here, preventing it from being easily cut off. So, very good work there by Dave, very good. A nice cutting off his opponent from fuel, leaving StrategicMushroom here certainly in a weaker long-term position if we can actually get that, because then Dave's really going to be getting a lot of fuel over StrategicMushroom. I mean, in this regard, StrategicMushroom needs to go on the offensive, he needs to try and catch Dave off guard and destroy him, though, of course. With an increasing larger number of infantry and tank destroyers, it's going to be harder here for him to wield his armor aggressively. And there you go, smoke screen on the center. Dave is setting up for an assault here. Note here, numerous attack points there, so that way it launches assault from several angles. And Dave very much thinks in attack points. It's why he prefers, you know, 3 Shermans over Pershing tank. And again, it was a very interesting discussion I had with him. I mean, really just some amazing insight you sort of get there. Jackson moving up there, opening up the Panther 4, flanking there, go attack from the center, grenade off, wiping out the machine gun there. And right here we can see here, StrategicMushroom is just caught in a really bad position, trying to move in. There we go, almost losing a Panther 4 here, attacking. Break for one of the Jackson, which is isolated and banded here. StrategicMushroom goes for a just off-the-cuff decision. Risky, but might just be working out here. There we go, gets the Jackson. Panther 4 that went down. And he might just get the other Jackson. It's highly risky though. But it seems to sort of... he lost the Panther 4. He should at least save the Stug. Oh no, he's losing troops as well. And he's going to try and go for the Jackson with the Stug. Heavy losses though here for StrategicMushroom. Heavy losses. Pops the smoke screen as he continues onwards out into the ice. He actually got the fuel cache though there with the Panzer Grenadiers. Though should have taken some time. He really wants that Jackson dead. If he can do it, of course, it'll be certainly nice there for him. And there you go. Almost caught it. I don't think Dave is aware the Stug is in pursuit. Phew, we made it, guys. We made... Ah, shit. It's the Krauts. And he gets it. He gets it. Note to self. Always look over your shoulder if you ever upset StrategicMushroom. Ever. He'll eventually appear out of nowhere and shoot you in the back if you do. Punching there with a bomb grenade against the rifleman. Needs to retreat though. We've gone for Tiger Ace here for StrategicMushroom. A highly risky move there. I mean, it can work out pretty well, but of course that's the chance of costing him a lot there if he doesn't use this sufficiently aggressively. Using the Stug here to clear out the fighting position. Tiger Ace rushing straight for the captain, catching all of his inch out in the open air. Can he deal sufficient damage? Oh, they're bunching up negative cover, but they only got 1 kill. Still, he bunches up there continually. Another shot misses. Oh dear, this is not looking amazingly well here for StrategicMushroom. There you go. Finally some impact there against the American infantry. Another Jackson on the way there for Dave. Another Jackson. Still, StrategicMushroom is now gaining barely any resource. There you go, pursuing the rifleman aggressively. I mean, StrategicMushroom is definitely doing what you're supposed to do with a Tiger Ace, which is you punch hard. You punch really, really hard until your opponent begs for mercy. I mean, that's pretty much the job of the Tiger Ace. It is the ace up your sleeve. It is the, well, large, very nasty knife up your sleeve, actually. Which you call your ace up your sleeve because you're a bit of a bastard. But you don't care because you're punching your opponent with a knife. Though you're technically supposed to be stabbing them, you somehow made it work. Troops are healing and enforcing. Stug being repaired. Tiger is slightly falling back there. He's not quite getting some serious hits, but still, that is going to force Dave to be a bit more careful. Though, of course, if Dave can sort of launch some good hits, he can turn the game around. So, if he can sort of isolate the Tiger Ace from the rest of the units there, he could do some serious damage. At this point, I'd recommend him either going for the M20 just to try and isolate it and immobilize it, or just go for the assault and isolate our mines. Either way, mines would be a really good choice here versus the Tiger Ace at the moment. Still, he's got most of the map now, and he's sending back to bleeding out StrategicMushroom. And that is his 3rd Jackson tank destroyer, by the way. I can't quite remember how many there would have been in an actual platoon. I think 3 maybe, actually, since I think they operated the tank destroyer platoons in smaller numbers compared to, say, their tank platoons, which were 5. Mortar there, the veteran free. Jackson hanging back. Generally, American tank destroyers were open top because A, it made them lighter and easier to make because, you know, you didn't have to put the top on. And obviously, had some effects there. Gave the crew better vision because, you know, in part again, they weren't expected to be up close to the enemy. I mean, these tank destroyers were not at all expected to get close. I mean, they're just expecting to fight at range. Of course, it made them vulnerable to enemies actually getting close and stuff like, you know, grenades, artillery, and any sort of airburst shells. In fact, there are cases during the Hurricane in the forest where Jacksons just pulled back because they were afraid of airburst shells from the Germans. I don't actually know if the Germans make use of them, but apparently they were worried about them. Or something else. It's a little fun fact there. Artillery fire in the north there, knocking out a house. Stuke moving in there. Bit risky. It seems like here, StrategicMushroom does not care. Oh, he's going to have a damage engine there. Tiger supporting, though with minimal impact so far. More troops moving in. Anthony Day will be going for another Jackson. There we go. Could use the captain to rush it out. They supervise it. More smoke since he's basically trying to disable the Tiger, at least make it harder for the Stuke to support as he moves in his Jackson again. There you go. Shot fight, penetrating the Tiger's 100mm frontal armor. Rifle though getting almost annihilated here by the Tiger Ace. Oh, got wiped. Quite a loss there. Storms moving up there through the smoke. Turning Dave's greatest asset against him and throwing a grenade there on his machine gun. They're almost getting wiped in the process. In fact, might get wiped there. Some pretty tense fighting in the center. Jackson shoots, so gets another penetrating hit in the Tiger and gains veterans 1 second. Jackson almost done. Captain there moving into the village center, getting hit there by the Tiger tank. A lot of support weapons and BS now littering the center of the map here. As StrategicMushroom stakes everything on his Tiger tank. And his, specifically the Ace there. Crewing the 50 caliber. Jackson almost done. So that is his 4th, I think. Quite a few tank destroyers out there for Dave. Not so many Shermans, which is what he prefers, but I'm guessing it might be that he's just experimenting. He just feels the pressure to go for the Jacksons. It's hard to, certainly with the Tiger Ace out now, the Jacksons certainly are a better choice than the Shermans. Almost got the Stuke there. They need to be careful. I mean, the Stuke does have less range than the Jackson. Of course, it does have some other advantages. Besides, of course, just that smooth German aesthetic. Two attempts to the centre here, but Captain needs to retreat before it gets swiped there. Machine guns firing here from behind some remaining overturned tombstones. One gets annihilated there. Double mortars by here from Dave. Double mortars, including one he stole from the Germans. Better loss there for StrategicMushroom and the 9th Panzer Division. He's about to lose another machine gun to them though, and wiped. Not the highest losses to replacing, can just recruit them, but still expensive to do so because still he's suffering a huge bleed there from the Tiger Ace. So there you go, 2 Jacksons out there. And he's got the resources now for the 8th round. Direct hit on the machine gun, direct hit. Jackson shoot, bounces off the Tiger's on him in his armor. There you go, sinks the Jackson. Turn hit here from the Jackson, which fails to penetrate. Bit of bad luck there for Dave. Another shot fails to make much of an impact. There we go, penetrating hit. No HRAP rounds here, possibly because it's at sort of the very edge, so it makes it perhaps a bit harder there to guarantee any sort of worth out of the HRAP rounds. And these two, Lieutenant pushing back the punch grenades to try to harass Dave there a bit. Jackson falling back, sniping an infantry with his Tiger Ace. Still, the map control is looking a bit weak there for StrategicMushroom. There go, moves in, shoots, penetrates, veteran 2 gain for the Jackson, which I believe increases its rate of fire. Indeed, Stuke moving in though, damaged engine on the Tiger Ace. And there you go, we got the HRAP rounds, direct hit on the Stuke, almost half health there in a single shot. Sadly, doesn't have the munition. Oh, cooldown there. I pulled it too fast away there, but again, he's worried he's going to get rushed down by the Stuke, which, under the right circumstances, can take out the Jackson simply due to his high rate of fire. Nope, this is not from the December Balance preview. Just in case someone asking again. If it is from the December Balance preview, I will have it marked in the title. Also, a big thanks to Marcus Boy for donating and supporting the Propagandacast, and of course allowing me to keep doing what I do on a daily basis. A big thanks to you, Marcus. You all allowed me to keep doing this. And of course, everybody else has donated. And to everybody else who might be considering donating, you of course can do so as well. Links in the video description. Anyways, back to the fighting. More Jacksons away there for Dave after the one that sort of got sunk. Captain rushing ahead there. He's seemingly forgetting about here, so Dave might be suffering from a slight degree of Stalingrad syndrome. Rifling it off there, forcing the captain to fall back, but he's back in action rapidly. There you go. Stormtrooper actually 3 concussive grenade off. Mortars nearby, at least the non-veteran. There you go. Captain caught, he needs to retreat. Another Strook for Strategic Mushroom.
We're losing a capture point.
Jackson falling back, living kit to victory field. Of course, that'd be even better. But Strategic Mushroom is slowly hollowing up Dave here. At least holding on. Desperately for Germany. And there goes second Stuttgart here for Strategic Mushroom and the 9th Panzer Division. Tiger Ace rolls ahead. A lumbering threat. Second Jackson out here for Dave. Smashing a tree apart. Is Dave going to expect the second Stu to support the Tiger Race? Oh. Strategic Mushroom is doing nothing to hide. He's pretty much parking out in front here, so that might make things a bit easier for Dave to deduce that there's a tank, sir. His doctrinal choice is starting to feel rather weak since he's not done much with it. I mean, again, he apparently just went for the assault engines, just didn't seem not to do with the rest of it, which I think does limit a bit what effect Dave is actually having on the battlefield. So we'll have to see how it works out. Stu moving ahead there, at least might move to the front line there of the Jacksons. Shoots, penetrates. Second Stu shoots, reveals his position, of course, his existence there to Dave. Moving in the Tiger Ace. There we go. Ah, hits the shed instead. Pops H-Rat rounds. We can see he's going in. He's going in. Right in front of the double Jacksons. Misses with the H-Rat rounds. Oh dear, he's a bit, I think, too quick to retreat. But again, the fit Stooks upon the Tiger Ace does force him to, keep a safer distance there. So it didn't quite work out there for Dave, though. He didn't lose much, but he didn't get some critical damage in on the Tiger Ace or anything supporting it. And now we've got an Ostwind out for Strategic Mushroom. And Ostwind. Troops are hitting, reinforcing, and finally Dave here realises there's something over there he can also harass. That way, maybe force Strategic Mushroom to dispatch units out there towards the west and then catch. In fact, one option would be to actually swiftly try and move everything from the east side to the west side and sort of maybe try and rush Dave here, or Strategic Mushroom in the centre, catch unit off guard, and destroy them with the Jacksons. If you can get that to veteran field, that'd be pretty big. But we'll see what Dave ends up doing. We shall see what he ends up doing. There you go, harassment up north, made to be engaged here with the Ostwind, but still managed to enter the point neutral. OD's just going to keep attacking from the same angle. Seems to be a rather nasty case of Stalingrad syndrome that seems to be setting in with Dave here. Tiger is bombarding, 43 kills. Riflemen with bazookas. Mortars opening up, laying down the smoke screen. Making it easy to get in there without getting blasted. Still, Ace is not covered by the smoke beam. Got a machine gun bunker down there. Troops moving towards the centre. Using this smoke. Very good work there. Troops under hector fire there on both sides. Troops moving up to the northern victory point. Got the centre victory point there. Jackson gains some engines one as well there. So he's got 2 Jacksons with sufficient veterans for H-Rat rounds. I mean, 2 Jacksons with H-Rat rounds firing away at any German armour could quickly decimate it. But the problem is, due to the way the village works, it's very difficult to get a clear line of fire with the Jacksons. But that will make it happen to get out of there. Yeah, this is kind of where this is better because there's some more room to maneuver, to be honest. On the west side, it's just much better tank and tank destroy country compared to the eastern side of the map, which is much more funnel country. And lastly, much more easy for just a defender to play from. We got a Sherman on the way there for Dave. Just a good old fashioned regular Sherman. He's got the Pioneers with his mortars. Troops in force, and there goes Supervisor to push out the Sherman as fast as possible. Tiger is almost good to go once more for the German army. Sherman out there for Dave. Looks like he needs support. He might even use it as bait, force Dave to, or Strategic Mushroom to withdraw armor from the center to defend the northern victory point, and then he sort of, you know, hits whatever sort of takes the bait with the tank destroyers. Oh, rough grenade off, but realizes dodges it. Very good. Yeah, he's going to use the Sherman as bait here. He's going to use the Sherman as bait. He's going to try and use it to force him to withdraw something and then deal with Jackson most likely. Or just use it to lighten the center defenses and then strike at the center. Oh, we'll see here what happens, but there you go. He's withdrawing his armies, in fact, turning everything now to deal with the single Sherman. He might be anticipating this as a trap actually into moving in. Who knows? But, he needs to be careful about parking them out in the eyes because, you know, that could very quickly sink. But there you go. Bazooka team moving in. Jackson flanking in. Needs the HVAC rounds. So each HVAC rounds. There you go. Popping on both. Rifle about to get wiped out. There you go. Penetrating hit. Stuke's moving hit though. Oh dear. Jackson lit up. Jackson lit up. Almost got the tag race. Gained advantage on second, but that also went down here. Did not quite work out the well here. Dave had hoped. A few mines for the proper strap this trap better. And with this though, Dave is in a really bad spot. Really bad spot. He just lost most of his armor here to Strategic Mushroom. See Stukes and his Tiger Ace. There we go. We got an ace Stuke up there for Strategic Mushroom. Clearly it seems Dave underestimated him and honestly admitted that. So yeah, it seems like Dave took it perhaps a bit more leisurely, and in this case got punished by Strategic Mushroom, who hit him hard there. So this could have been a case of Dave just trying to play it a bit too fancy and getting hit for it. We'll see that. GG for Dave. He seems to be carrying on the fight here. Does seem to be carrying on the fight. I mean, Strategic Mushroom's forces are still depleted. In theory, if he can just wipe the infantry for keeping the Tigers intact, which is still going to be off some time for repairs, there's a chance Dave could pull through here, though it's still going to be pretty risky. Looks like it's not going to rush out an M10 just trying to deal with the Osprey and the other bits there. Pioneers on the way there for Dave. Troops are healing and forcing. So what is Dave planning here, one wonders? Two Stews again, one vet 73. The Tiger Ace there with 49 kills. Again, I mean, one issue again for Dave, which is keep attacking from this angle again. It's a really bad angle to attack from. Overall, again, as always, like to consider this side of the village is just much better attack through because it's a lot harder just finding you down there. See, again, you just pretty much got this, and well, that's a lot shorter than, you know, well, this. That's a much sort of wider frontage, much wider, and thus much harder to defend properly. With a lot more sort of ways to sort of support an attack as well, by sort of, you know, weaving thick in and back between the houses. Whereas here you kind of have to get close and within the arc of 5 of the enemy to shoot at them. So again, this is just so much more favoured for the defender. Stormtrooper punches are moving ahead. He couldn't theory pan upgrade the rest of the assault rifles. I mean, that wouldn't actually be a bad combo, though. I did not know you could do that. But, you know, a mix of G43s and Sturmgewehrs with tactical advance could be pretty mean. Actually, G43s with tactical advance sounds pretty nasty. Sounds pretty nasty.
The capture point is being overrun.
But the Tiger Ace is operable again. Quick grenade there.
Our supply line is cut. German
Got one Stormtrooper there. Concussive grenade off. Easily dodges it. And Sick gets stunned himself, and there you go, bung grenade off. Before retreating, covering up his retreat, and there you go. I think that's the 5th Jackson for Dave. That's his 6th Jackson. That is his 6th Jackson. Catching the mortars here. Shoots penetrating hit there on the Austin Flak Panzer. Another hit on the Flak Panzer. I think he's building a bank up to defend the northern victory point as well. Yes, indeed. Good work. Got the aces on the move there, the Tiger Ace and the Stug Ace. With some very unique camouflage there from the Tiger Ace. Ja, wie ein electrical utility pole now, Ludwig. Go bzzzt. Shot fired, missed. Return shifting for the south. Penetrating and then the Tiger. Veterans 1 gained again for the 20th Jackson that did not get sunk in the ice. Stoops moving ahead. One thing I'm surprised to see Dave not go for his anti-tank guns, because they tend to hard counter Stugs pretty well. It made it harder for StrategicMushroom to use them. Plus with the anti-tank rounds, they can also do some decent damage to the Tiger Ace. So a bit of surprise that Dave actually hasn't gone for anti-tank guns now that I'm thinking about it. As it is a pretty solid anti-tank, and again, really just beats the stuffing out of any Stugs or any other medium armour the StrategicMushroom might have had on the field. I mean, a pair of them could easily have done a ton of damage to StrategicMushroom. So that one is a bit of a surprise there. As opposed to think we try and go for an M10 to whack with this Jackson now, just to have something on the field there. But I doubt he's going to go for it now if he hasn't gone for it for most of the match. Overall, his doctrine usage has been pretty weak. I mean, he only went for a single assault unit squad, so not the best usage of the doctrine, or the commander, we like to call it. Almost got the bunker. Rising towards the west one. Of course, he's got rifle grenades to smoke that downwards, so that works out for him. They might still be in for a surprise. There you go. And still quite needs to be paying attention to what's going on there. And he wasn't. Thus get pinned and forced to retreat. And I think David's setting up for another Jackson tank destroyer here. Nope, he does end up going for the Wolverine tank destroyer to support his Jackson. Interesting choice there. And got the Tiger Ace moving ahead. Direct hit from the Jackson. Stooks moving in. M10 nearby. Stooks being suppressed here by the 5th caliber. Tiger Ace moving in. Stooks just hanging back, ready to provide covering fire against any tank destroyers that might be hiding nearby as soon as they reveal themselves. Pinned down to the ground here by the 50 cal. And there you go, Ace moving in, Storms are pinned down, shoots. Jackson turns about his turret, Cap moving in, Rifle moving in. Oh, that's what turns actually. There you go, 50 cal pushed out. And there you go, Stug spotted sending in the M10 to try and pursue them over the Jackson as well. And there you go, Stormtroopers unpinned, but there you go, right into the Lieutenant, right into the Captain, right into all of the BARs. And there you go, Stormtrooper squad about to get wiped out. 2 moving ahead and engaging the M10. There you go, target weak point. Veteran 2 gain the second Stug. Tiger Ace pushes back the Captain and the Lieutenant. And all of Dave's tank destroyers have retreated. to fight another day. We got a second machine gun back up to defend the center victory point here. Strategic Mushroom is taking no chances there. In fact, Strategic Mushroom is getting incredibly aggressive now with the Tiger Race. Staying straight in, they're looking to destroy some units inside the base here, trying to catch Dave off guard, and it works. It absolutely works here. A tactically aggressive decision in this case paying off. Nice, we can even get the ambulance here, and gets the ambulance. Hey, there you go. There you go. GG, game over. A loss here for the American army, actually the German army. Victory for the German army, a victory for Deutschland. An aggressive battle right here on Sir Moscow Winter. In this case, Dave seemingly underestimating his opponent, opening up Strategic Mushroom to punish him for that. A light bit of hubris proves to be, right for Nemesis, as it would seem here. Dave sort of perhaps not playing the most strategically potent strategy for longer term. Doctoral choice was definitely weaker, and that gave Strategic Mushroom some, I think, good choices to sort of punish them, sort of build up there, plus some excellent use of the Tiger Ace, because really you can screw up with the Tiger Ace despite what some players would like you to believe. And of course, while it is a potent unit, at the same time it is also a unit potent for just screwing up with. In this case, Strategic Mushroom used it aggressively, punished Dave quite aggressively, and had Dave just at any point, try and build head advantage with a mine or anything like that, you could probably just isolate the Tiger Ace and dealt with it. But because there were some lacks there, again, he also underestimated Strategic Mushroom sort of push ahead there. It just gave Strategic Mushroom sort of boosts time and time again, just sort of pull ahead of Dave and sort of slowly but surely close out the fight there. Plus some aggressive use of the Stoops, which again I think just caught Dave off guard. I mean, that assault he just going straight for the Jacksons there, I think was something Dave did not anticipate at all. He just completely wait, he's attacking, god damn, and they just pulled off there. So Strategic Mushrooms, I would say, slightly erratic play, or at least aggressive play there in the face of where you normally be playing defensively. I think also paid off somewhat there for Strategic Mushroom. So there you go, GG, game over. Hope you enjoyed the match. If you did want to subscribe, tell a friend, just share it with everyone. If not, send a new plan of feedback in the comment section. A big thanks to all my Patreon supporters. If you like what I do consider donating or supporting, by Patreon or PayPal. Links in the video description. This is Imperial Links and cheers. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you tomorrow for another exciting episode. Bye.